Okay, Wendy, the recording is in process. We have made it to 2024, January 1st, 2024, Wendy, and the Alabama Crimson Tide, Michigan Wolverines, and the Texas Longhorns and the Washington Huskies will be playing today. Wendy, what's up? Happy New Year. What's the deal?
Happy New Year. Don't ask me what we did last night. We did nothing getting ready for today's game. We went nowhere. Chris made us a good dinner in the crock pot. So nothing for New Year's Eve because New Year's Eve didn't matter. New Year's Day is the only day that matters to me this year. Listen, we've got to win a ball game. We've got to win this ball game. I'm a nervous wreck. I don't know what to think. Like in my head, it's like our defense is too good. We're really clicking on all cylinders right now. Kind of like you said, we've got some dogs on this team that just really want to win. You know what I mean? Like they really want to win. But, you start listening to the pundits, and of course, they've got to have something to talk about. I totally get it. But, I mean, is this the best Michigan team in 10 years? Like, right? Like they were supposed to be good.
Yeah. Let's get into this. So let's kind of set this thing up, Wendy. First off, I think so the new puppy that we were talking about. There's the new puppy.
Oh, Bailey, look at her.
There's Bailey. So she's normally good for a good 30, 45-minute run, and then she lays out. Incredible dog so far. Fingers crossed. She's doing a little digging in the backyard.
Yep.
She's got a little bit of energy. Wendy. Oh yeah, Corbin, right there.
Alabama. Okay. See right here. Look, I got mine on all the time. Yeah. Trey's got
Alabama hat today. I bought this hat at the Alabama-Tennessee game this year when I was afraid I was about to get sunburnt. So it has made it around. So happy New Year's to everybody out there. Listen, we do this show typically every year, and we do score predictions. It's always a fun show. We get all the listeners, and basically all the listeners are our friends, to give us their scores for the day, and we're going to go through some of those, Wendy. Number one, Bob. Let's get Bob. I asked Bob for a stat last night. Now he's anonymous. Bob really wasn't feeling a stat, but he did say one of the last games that Michigan played in the Rose Bowl was in 2004. Actually, the year was actually 2005, but it went from there's Asa. So it went from let's see. Now I lost my train of thought. It was Texas versus Michigan, and that was when Vince Young basically ran all over Michigan. It was a high-scoring game, and basically Michigan could not stop Vince Young, and Texas won the game. Bob thinks this is eerily similar to that game with Milroe's running ability, and we'll see if history has a way of repeating itself. So that was Bob's take last night. Now, I did have to go back and forth with him a little bit because I got confused, but as typical, Bob was right.
Bob was right. Bob's always right.
Wendy, just a couple things real quick. Let's go by the numbers. If I did this correctly this morning, just by the numbers a little bit as far as some stats. Points per game. So points per game, Michigan is scoring 36 points a game. Alabama scoring 31 points a game. Okay. Total offense, Michigan's around 380 yards. Alabama's around 401 yards. Passing yards, Michigan's at 218. Alabama's at 228.
Okay.
So in the red zone offense, Alabama's scoring 94% of the time. Michigan's 88% of the time. So as we're going down these stats, Wendy, these are really stats that were pretty close. And then when you get into the defense, Michigan ranks first nationally on the defense. So this is a legit defense. It does not matter who they played. They are a legit defense. They're only giving up, I don't know how this stat really reads, but it's 9 points a game, and Alabama's at 18 points a game. Basically, Michigan ranks first. Alabama ranks 15th. So Michigan's given up 240 yards a game, and Alabama is giving up 313 yards a game. Now, I just throw those stats out there. Some people like stats.
Yeah.
I think what this proves is Michigan has a good defense. I memean, we can sit around and be like, oh, well, they're the NC Alabama, blah, 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 blah. They're still a good defense, and Alabama's going to have to play good to win this football game. And last thing, I'm going to get to the score predictions. Every time you watch this, how can Jim Harbaugh actually be this weird?
Well, I mean, Trey, he just gets weirder and weirder with with every single interview. But let's back up this train a little bit. You're saying they're number one in the country for defense?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you got to play a defense to know what a defense. So you think they've gone up against boys like our boys? You personally believe that they've seen a defense like an Alabama defense?
Hold on, no. What you're trying to say is what kind of offenses have they went up against? Because we're talking about Michigan.
Yeah, but yes, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Offensive. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So you think they've gone up against offenses like an Alabama offense?
Well, probably a couple of them. I mean, listen, Alabama's offense isn't some prolific offense, Wendy. I mean,
it wasn't at the beginning of the year, but it has been towards the end of the year, Trey.
Oh, okay. So us struggling to score 27 points against Auburn that was a show, wasn't it?
Well, listen, I'm just trying to tell you that's a rivalry game, and they've got witchy-woo, majestic stuff going on in that field in Auburn. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to hear that crap the morning of. You can sit here and spew all the stats you want to, but I'm going to try to tell you something. They ain't seen an offensive line like my offensive line. That's all I know to say about it. You ain't going to get me cranked up at 10 o'clock in the morning.
But no, Wendy, listen, the whole point of me saying that some people like to hear stats, and I was just giving you some stats. Wendy, the game is played on the field. The game is a 3-4 hour game. It's going to be played this afternoon. Stats can go out the window, but I mean, there's a reason there's averages. There's a reason there's stats. We'll have to see what happens. Wendy, let's get to some of these score predictions. And listen, I know some people gave us their score predictions like 3 or 4 days ago. They've really kind of got lost in my text threads, to be honest with you. I'm not super organized. But let's go down some of these, Wendy, and we will start with Aunt Julie.
Aunt Julie,
big Alabama fan. She is our aunt. She likes Alabama 31-14.
30. See?
Roll Tide.
She has us scoring more points, Trey.
Yeah, 31 points. So happy New Year's, Aunt Julie.
Yes.
All right, here we go. We got Connor at my office, the wild man.
Wild man.
No breaks, Connor Hallmark. This guy's on full tilt. He likes 31-24, the Alabama Crimson.
Okay. So far, everybody's got us over 30.
Yeah, I have not read all these, so I'm just actually clicking through my phone. We've got Jamie Ray.
Jamie Ray.
Know him as Ray Vice. Great guy, lives over in Georgia, raising his family, doing a great job. He says Happy New Year. Wow, this is 31-24. Tide takes over late in the third quarter. Roll Tide. It's game day, baby.
Let's go, Jamie.
You're right, Jamie Ray. It is game day. Barry and Jacob.
Okay.
Jacob might not be up yet, but Barry is up, and I don't know what this means, but Barry comes through. You know, he's an ultimate Georgia fan. Yep. Barry comes through with 38-24. Window lickers.
Are we the window lickers? I don't know. Have we? Wouldn't that be Michigan? I don't know. Barry, who are you pulling for? You should be pulling for the SEC.
Barry comes through. That's all he said.
Are we the window lickers?
I don't know. Possibly. I think
possibly.
Yeah, I think Barry's a little upset about the Alabama-Georgia game, which is fine. He's a Georgia fan. Bill Vandiver.
Okay, Bill.
He is our brother-in-law. Bill, big Alabama fan. Been to several games with Bill. He has the Tide 31-13.
Okay, so all these people are busting in up 30 points. You gave me the hardest time the other day for calling for 45 points. They're all slinging 31.
Wendy, 42 and 45 points are different than 31 points. It is odd that all these scores are coming out at 31. I don't know. Whoever is in Vegas right now, whoever is gambling right now, either pick 31 on something or 13, reverse the numbers, but 31 seems to be a popular number right there. Bill, Happy New Year to you.
Yes.
We have Will and Bear.
Will and Bear.
Bear, he's sending me his bets. I don't know what in the world. Bear's on some kind of heater on his bets. I can't read this. Bear, just stay hot. Stay hot is all I can say. I don't know what you're doing. Just keep holding your head the same way. All right, let's go with Will Hill. Will the Thrill. He says, "Give me Bama 28-17."
Okay.
He says Bama's rolling into Houston like a boss and beating Texas in its own home state for the Natty.
Okay.
Bear likes, we're going to go back to Bear because I'm just now getting to his score. Bear likes Alabama 38-21. Bama up by at least 2 scores at half and extends margin to finish.
Okay, Bear, this is what I want to hear.
Bear likes a dominating game.
Yes.
All right, now we're going to go to Jason Rockhill.
Jason Rockhill.
Courtney up in Nashville. They've been dodging tornadoes up there. Every time I see tornadoes up there, I have to text my boy Jason. He said he dodged this last one. And my gosh, is that place becoming a magnet for those things?
I don't know, but Alabama is. But let me say this. Courtney and Jason Rockhill are 2 of the coolest people I've ever met my whole entire life. And happy New Year to both of you. Dodge the tornadoes, but happy New Year. Now, you know, in their family, Courtney's a big Tennessee fan and Jason's an Alabama fan. So that's a little bit of a house divided.
House divided. Jason has had the upper hand for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
Tennessee game. Jason Rockhill likes 24-14, the Crimson Tide.
That's a little low, Jason, but okay. Okay.
Looks like he's playing the numbers. We have Kobe. We've mentioned Kobe several times. He has come into Nacho's text thread, and really he comes in with pretty good heat. He's very into the Alabama Crimson Tide, like what he does. He has a close ball game, and I'm talking about a close game. He has the Alabama Crimson Tide 23-21.
What? Corbin.
Kobe, it's not Corbin. It's not Corbin.
Well,
it's Kobe.
What are you doing, Kobe?
Well, 23-21. He's still got Alabama winning the game, Wendy.
I don't want to have a heart attack from the second the game starts till the second it ends. I lose all kinds of my lives on these games. My hair just gets grayer and grayer. So when I like these scores that are like 45-10, 31-17, which means that, you know, we're going to be looking pretty good for a majority of the game. So Kobe, boo on that score. But roll Tide. I mean, obviously you pick the winner, but still.
I mean, okay. You want a steamer? I'm having to go back in this thread, y'all, and I'm sorry. I know some of you sent it, and everything kind of gets jumbled up. But I do have Corbin.
Okay.
Corbin. This is the Alabama leg tattoo.
Okay.
My God,
Corbin.
if we have a fan, he's going up front, and he has got more of a score you like when he is 35-6.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, okay, 35-6.
35-6.
He's got him scoring 2 field goals.
I guess 2 field goals.
Listen, I like it better than Kobe's.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what you've got there. 303. Okay, so we know this is Mike. Mike has got Alabama 27-13.
Okay.
Mike always bringing the heat. We love Mike. Mike, just when you think you're in like a safe zone, like, you know, have you ever been in like relationships where you get into a safe zone, you feel good? Mm-hmm. Mike tends to come in with a haymaker. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah. And there's part of you that's kind of like, man, this is like, what in the world's going on here? And then it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, this added some excitement to this thing.
Right.
So, Mike, we definitely appreciate everything that you're doing out there. Good luck and roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Now we have a guy named Justin Yelverton. Justin Yelverton's a good childhood friend, big Alabama fan, just a great guy. He likes Alabama 31-13.
Right, this 31-13 stuff. So, I mean, it's got to be a sign, right? Like, we're going to win this ball game. Like, Like, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock cannot get here quick enough. Like, I am absolutely dying over here.
John over here, I do have to figure out, what did Mom say?
Oh, I got Mom's. Now, our mother, good old Mommy B, she will not mention the other team. So she calls them the other team. So Mom has Alabama 28, the other team 10. That's how she's put it this morning. Yep. Okay. Which, let me say this, Mommy B, biggest Alabama fan I know, between her, Aunt Julie, and Uncle Joey. Massive Alabama fans, best homer, best fan I've ever met. And usually Mom's right, and she doesn't feel that nervous, which is a good sign.
Yeah, it is. And Bob has got the game at 38-28. So Bob, everybody knows, is our stats guy. Bob likes a lot of points today at 38-28.
Okay.
Yeah, Wendy, I mean, we're winding this thing down. We love getting on here. We really love the people that listen to this. And basically we have about 5 hours. What is it? It's about 6 hours until the game. Wendy, tell me as we're getting off here, what do you think is going to happen? I know we've talked about it ad nauseum, but tell me kind of where you're at.
So my synopsis of this game. I think it's going to come out. I think they're going to score. We're going to score. They're going to score. We're going to score. I'm counting on my defense scoring two touchdowns today. I'm counting on my defense today. That's where my score going up like that's coming from. I think our defense is going to play lights out. I do believe they'll be in the game for a little while, but I'm going with, they've not seen an offensive line like mine. They've not seen a defensive line like mine. And I'm going to be honest with you, they're not conditioned like we're conditioned. So I'm more of that belief that kind of getting into the fourth quarter, it should be kind of winding down and we should be about 2.5 scores ahead by that point. That's the feeling I have of the game. That's how I see it going.
Yeah. And you know, the thing that kind of gets me is kind of like, you know, all of a sudden you think Michigan's going to do this ball control stuff, which is kind of typical. And the next thing you know, Michigan comes out and starts airing it out. You know, they could go no huddle. They could air it out some and kind of get us on our heels a little bit. You know, in these big games, a lot of big games, these coaches will keep things tight to the vest. They won't do a lot of risky stuff, aka blitzing, or maybe put their guy where they might throw an interception or something like that. So, you know, get everybody filled out, get their players back going, because you got to understand these players haven't played in a month.
Right.
So some of this is going to go to who has been conditioning, who is ready to go when the whistle goes off. Because a lot of coaches will tell you the first 5 minutes of the first half and the first 5 minutes of the second half will tell you a lot about a football game.
Yes.
So that is something to really pay attention to. Obviously, it's not an exact science, but those first 5 minutes of each half will determine a lot about this. Wendy, you know, as we're getting off here, what's unbelievable about this is you're watching Nick Saban and Jim Harbaugh, and they're asking Nick Saban about these sign stealing and this catapult system that these players use to look at their plays. Alabama's not looking at theirs because there could have been a data hack. I don't know. As a Michigan person, I'm sure they see it from a different lens. I'm not a Michigan fan. I don't follow Michigan, but they probably see it from a different lens. But I mean, how bad is this that literally the other team can't use a computer program because they're afraid it got hacked?
That's right.
And the head coach of the other team, which is Alabama, is getting questioned about sign stealing 24 hours before the game. It's almost like we're in bizarro world.
Well, where the kicker of that is with Jim Harbaugh sitting right beside him. I mean, it wasn't even like an alone, like between me and you one-on-one interview. Harbaugh was right there. But let me tell you something. Nick Saban does what he always does. He handled it with class and integrity, but he's right. There's got to be some integrity here. And I think this sign stealing is going to go a lot deeper as the investigation unravels. Like, I really believe that, which is why I'm going to say cheaters never win. Cheaters are not going to win tonight either at 5:00. They're not going to win. They played the game for 2 years. They weren't able to beat TCU last year. I mean, you know what I mean? Cheaters don't win, or they shouldn't win. They shouldn't win. That's how it should be.
Yeah. And you know, I agree with that. And, you know, like, let's get to this, Wendy. You got the Texas Washington game later tonight, Wendy. Either that game's going to be a lot of fun to watch,
or boring. One or the other. That
game's going to be like somebody throw another log on the fire and hand me another beer.
Well, listen, I'm pulling for Washington. Everybody's going to kill it. I don't care about this rematch with Texas. Like, I want to play a team that I think I'm 100% going to beat, which is Washington. I'm pulling for Washington. I don't care about this. I want it. You know, I want the rematch of the century. I don't love that the game's in Texas. Like, it kind of just feels like something weird there. I do really like Texas's quarterback Ewers, and I think he's I think he's got our number, and I think he'd have beat us a couple years ago had he not gotten hurt. So I don't want anything to do with Texas. I don't want anything to do with Texas. I'm being honest. I don't want anything to do with Texas. Go Washington. I'm pulling for Washington and that quarterback you like. Do I think they can win it? No. I mean, I absolutely think Texas is going to dominate it, but I want Washington to win that game.
Yeah, well, it's Penix Jr., the guy from Washington that we talked about on our last show. And you know, once again, if Texas is clicking, like we watched them click in their championship game, we have seen them click against Alabama. We have seen them click a couple of times throughout the year, but they have also come out flat a little bit.
Yes.
If they do come out flat, you know, because some of that's timing, you got a big game. You don't know how these players are going to react. It's their first time in some of these really big games. It could give Washington the advantage. It'll be a great game to watch tonight, Wendy. It's the new year. It's 2024. All I got to say is roll tide. I hope Alabama gets off to a great start. I love you, and let's go do it.
Hey, roll tide, and we'll update you guys in a few days. It'll be tomorrow if we win, and maybe Thursday if we lose. Hey, roll tide and Happy New Year. Thank y'all, everybody, for listening. Especially our family and friends, because that's like a majority of you. Thank y'all so much. We really do have a good time doing this. It started off with just me just wanting to talk about football. So thank you to everybody that listens, and we hope you guys enjoy it. And roll tide and Happy New Year.
All right, Wendy, love you. Roll tide. Happy New Year.
Love you. I'll talk to you later.
All right, babe.
All right, love you back.
Bye.
Roll tide.
Roll tide.